keep him there, keep him there. Let me give you I saw a young boy playing left back for a team last weekend. I've seen him 9 times already this season. He plays as a wing back. Now, this boy, he's got a good left foot, but he gets into the position, he gets the ball out wide, deep into the attacking third, and then he dribbles, and he dribbles, and he dribbles. So out of the 9 times he was in that position, he won 2 throw-ins and 1 corner. The ball never came across once. Now, that is being predictable. As a defender, you know he's going to take another touch. And he'd be such a better player if he just got that ball in. Do your job. He has a job to do. His job is to get that ball in.
Do you
consistently?
When you are working now, separate from your scouting that you do for the teams, with these younger players now, that are coming to you, are you mentoring them in that way to try and help them recognize their job?
Yes, absolutely I am. Absolutely I am. I have a young girl in Denmark now, Tilly. She plays, she actually was playing, I went over to see Nicole last year, and Tilly got took off at half time. I never met the girl, but she got took off at half time. So as I was walking around the pitch, she was actually off the pitch, and I thought, I'll have a little word with her. And she was sat next to her dad, a little bit down because she'd been took off. So I said, hey, well played, love. You did really well there. And her dad said she's not happy. She's not happy she got took off. I said, love, all you need to do is you need to be more consistent at what you're doing. And you also need, the very first thing I can tell you to do is hit the ball crisply. You need to go away and practice hitting the ball. You hit too many soft balls, and so they never got to the player. So you gave the ball away. So, yeah. So that's the very first thing I told her to do. And the very next game, she did exactly. Well, she actually trained with Nicole, and Nicole was showing her how to hit the ball. But I also said to her, "Can you hit it with your left foot?" And she said, "Yeah, but not very well." I said, "Right. Just remember, this was just a couple of little things. She wasn't paying me anything. I was just giving her an insight." So I said to her, well, I want you to get with Nicole. I'll speak to Nicole. You train with her for an hour and get that left foot. Bang, 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 bang. And you can hear when you hit a ball crisply, there's a sound to it. You probably won't know that, but there is a sound to the ball. You know you've hit it crisp. Bang, bang, bang. Mm-hmm. So she went away and she did it. And then she came back to me and she said, Brian, I've learned so much in those 10 minutes you gave me. And with Nicole, what do you call it? Nicole said you mentor people. Would you like to have a go at me? I said, yeah, of course I will, love. I can't do it now because the season was nearly finished. I said, but let's look at next season. But you've got more to you than just playing right back. You can play right wing back. If you get your left foot going, you can play left back and left wing back. So there's 4 spaces in that team that you can make. I went this season and now she does play right back but right wing back as well. She's also played left wing back. So she's well pleased with her progress. She's still got a lot to learn, but yeah, she's done really well. And the team FC Farum FCN Norseland that Nicole plays for with Tilly have just signed 8 players, and Tilly was one that they kept, which shows you that, from being taken off to now still being within that group of 24 good players, she's improved and she's well happy with it. And there's more to come from the girl. She's only 22, but there's more to come from her. But she wants it.
And what I like the way you're describing what you're doing there is, people say, okay, I'll work with you. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to be face-to-face on this field so many hours each time, so many days a week. But you're giving them things that they understand. They're fundamentals. They're fundamentals, if you will, but they're on what I would call the critical path. Of all the things that you could be doing, this is what you need to do.
Yes.
And they can do it themselves.
Everything about my mentoring is when they're on the field. Everything is about the on-field game, because when you cross that line, you're on your own. You need as much help and a little bit of know-how as to how to get about and go about things professionally. absolutely professionally. So I look at a player with attention to detail of that player, whether it be her heading, her left foot, her right foot, her pace, her change of pace, her awareness, her game knowledge, all that I look at. And I look at the bigger picture. So when I say I look at the bigger picture, I noticed that Tilly had quite a good throw for when I saw it, and she got took off. But I said to her, Tilly, you need to practice the longer throw because you can get another 10 yards on that throw. Can I? I said, yeah, you're not even trying, look. And it's going 25 metres, so I want you to practice that. That's another string to her bow, which gives her another added bonus for her being in that side. And that is exactly what she's doing. Everything I ask them to do, they do it because they can see that it actually does make sense.
Yeah, and again, for people who don't I want to emphasize this. You do not have a facility where they are showing up with you several times a week to do one-on-one. This is what you and I are doing here. I
do it on video.
Yeah.
I do it from a video. Yeah. Or I also can do it live.
Yeah, and
Go on, David.
I would say that connection, and that's what we're doing here. You and I are talking. We've got a little bit of Skype video going back and forth. But the fact is that it's when you connect, things can be simplified so much with another person. When you say, "No, I really do. I see you. And I see what you need," and they say, "Okay, I trust you. I will do."
Now that's where the trust comes in.
Yeah,
that's where the trust comes in. Absolutely. I ask them, all you need to do is trust me. I won't ask you to do something that I do not believe you can do. That's not going to happen. I just want you to be honest with me, because if you're not honest, then I have a problem. If you don't, let's say, David, I'm looking at you and you've just had a real big Barney off the pitch going to the game with your girlfriend, all right, and you don't turn up, you've got her on your mind. I will see that. And if you don't tell me, I'm thinking, whoa, the consistency's down. Why? Because you're not focused. You're lacking discipline. So you've got an attitude problem. Unless you tell me, I had a big Barney with my girlfriend and it was playing on my mind. This all comes into the picture. That's exactly why I need the trust.
Yeah, and you just reminded me of, I was speaking, a couple months ago with a great sports psychologist who had done work with our American coaching legend, John Wooden, for basketball.
Yeah.
And this was something, we see so many quotes, and John Wooden has so many things he has to say, and I think people overcomplicate it. But he asked a player one day, he said, hey, what's going on? You don't seem like you've got your usual. And he said, no, I don't. He said, well, what are you feeling at? What percent? And the player said, I feel like I'm at 70, coach. I don't know what to do. And he said, okay, I trust you with that. Can you give me 100% of the 70% you've got? And he said, I can do that. And that's pretty open for a player to say, yeah, coach, I'm running at less than I have. Nobody ever says that to a coach. You always say, no, coach, I'm top. I'm good. Until you're going out on a stretcher, you say, nope, nothing's wrong with me, coach. Because you don't trust the coach to say, okay, if you can do those things right that you can do right now, then we'll be fine. But be focused and consistent with what you brought to the game today.
Yeah. David, what the other thing I'd like to point out is you talk about trust. These players, that any player, young girl playing at Ohio State, whatever, okay, whoever it is, young boy, they're not robots. They are not. Of course, they're going to make mistakes. Even if they know not to do it, they're going to make mistakes. Remember that 3-minute time that we have. In that 3 minutes, they are going to make a couple of mistakes. This is my own way of doing things. I want them to hit 80% of my own gut feeling on them as a player for the whole 90 minutes. So if they miss a header, if they miss a tackle, if they don't come round, and pick somebody up. That's within that 20%, if you see. Mm-hmm. So then I come back and I say, okay, look, I think your game awareness is 60%. And this is why it's 60. You had him running off your back. You didn't pick up off a corner. 3 times you didn't pick up off a corner. And that drops you massively from the 80%. Because can you see where I'm going with this? And the players can take that on board. They're not robots. I don't know how coaches in America teach them and learn them, but they make mistakes. Live with it and let the people live with it. They don't do it on purpose.
Right. I mean, nobody shows up anywhere for sports, school, or the job and says, I'm going to go screw something up today. Nobody says that. Now, you brought up something about what goes on here in the States, and I think things are getting better with learning to, motivate players with positive reinforcement. It's not being soft. You can raise the bar. You can ask for discipline and consistency without berating them. But my world with 4 daughters is I work with and hang out with a lot of women coaches, and my daughters, for the most part, are coached by women. It's a very different approach, and yes, the times are also changing. But what do you see? Let's talk about gender, because again, there are a lot of guys, including my dad, who was a very disciplined guy, but was had when I say a soft side, the good kind of soft side, that he never worried about anyone making a mistake, but he'd say, okay, well, we got to fix this now and we'd move forward. What do you see between men and women in general? There's always exceptions. Yeah,
in general, within the US, and I followed Nicole in the Mountain West League, when this isn't even close, David, and I know we've talked about this before. A woman coach is, in general, he's far superior than a male coach. And I'm not bothered if that male coach has had 22 years as a coach and he's won everything. Young coach just finished and she's only been a coach 3, 4, 5, 6 years. I can tell watching a game, and I've done it 3 or 4 times, whether this team has been coached by a man or a woman. The reason, if it's a man, they normally go for strength and speed. And the best runners always go up top and probably go out wide. And then they hit long balls and chase that. And everything's press, press, press. But a woman coach, her team is more laid back. And they sit deeper and they knock the ball around. Then they pass it into midfield. And they play in triangles. Of course they change it every so often. But in general, she gets the players to work as a team. Each one, and this is crucial, and this is why I can see it, each one of the coaches, women coaches, has those girls knowing their job. They know their job on the field. A striker, big, tall striker, she knows she's a hold-up girl. She'll hold it, and the people know to run on and receive. They're so disciplined at doing that. Once they've done it and it breaks down, they don't have to be bawling and shouting at to get back. They already get back. They have no fear from the coach. And the other thing is set plays. Set plays is a giveaway. All of the women coaches that I've seen, they must sit down and figure out these set plays. Some are very intricate. Some are simple. But some are very intricate, and it takes a lot of hours on the football field to do these. The women have that time to do that. They will spend the time getting those set plays absolutely spot on. In general, a male coach will get the 2 centre-backs up and let's hit the centre-backs. One will go to the front post, one will go to the back. Both will go to the front post or both will go in them. It's always the same people that are being targeted. And it gets predictable. And then if it's predictable, the coach on the other side can read. All you need to do is stick on those 3 players because one of them's going to get it. A woman coach, no. You can see and think, wow, what a good move. for a woman to do that, and you see them on the touchline, and they normally have their